What is happening? Something is going on. Can you feel the way?
There were at least two creatures, probably more, but we're not in possession of great evidence of the other ones. But about these first two ones, we are 100% sure. Now, the first one was first seen about 7:30 a.m. Saturday 20, 1996, January 20, 1996, which was a Saturday hot summer in Brazil. And this creature was seen by over than 30 to 40 people who called the fire department to come and capture the creature because they thought it was some sort of wild animal or something. So when the fire department arrived about 10:30, 3 hours later, the army personnel was already there. And both teams captured the first creature with using leather nets. They put the creature in the box. It offered no resistance whatsoever. And the creature was taken then to a military facility that is located about 20 miles east of the city of Virginia, in a city called Três Corações. And from there it was taken to another place. Now, later on, that same Saturday, January 20, 1996, very hot, three girls, about 3:30 in the afternoon, gathered together and started to walk back home after they finished their jobs. And while coming through an empty field, they could see a second creature that was still at large. This creature was reported by the girls as being hurt, they had a very painful look, was naked, like the other one, the first one, had a brownish skin with some sort of oil spread all over, and a terrible smell. Their feet had only 2 toes, and in the hands 3 fingers. That's quite unusual. But what was most significant was that creature had a big head with 2 big red round eyes and 3 protuberances in the head. Now, because of that look, the girls thought the creature could be the devil, and they run away. Oh, the devil! But one creature was kept behind. One of the girls was kept behind a few more seconds, and she could have a better look. And she also noticed some very visible veins in the upper arm, shoulder, and the neck of the creature, like black veins, like very deep purple veins. So this is basically what happened. And that creature wasn't captured until 8:30 that same day, that same Saturday. Now, we suppose it's the same creature. We don't know how many others were present at the area. But one other creature, probably the same one seen by the girls, was captured at 8:30 that very Saturday in the afternoon by another team of military policemen. And one of the guys who held the creatures in his hand, with his bare hands, his name was Marco Elixirese, and he was 23 years old only. And he put the creature in his lap, got into the car, and then they drove away to the hospital. And this guy died about 2 weeks later with septicemia. He got infections all over his body. And because as far as we know, he was the only guy who had touched the creature with his bare hands, using no protection whatsoever. So that was a tragedy, because this guy was just in the beginning of his life. Since one creature was captured in the morning, another one was seen by someone in the afternoon, and there was a crash at the middle of the previous night, you can conclude that many of the forces, military forces, policemen forces, would be involved in trying to find and probably capture, if they could, all the creatures that could be at large. So all the forces, not only military but also civilian and federal police, also the army and the fire department guys, were all over that area, spread in cars or trucks or even standing, walking, all of them trying to find new evidences, trying to find other creatures that they could capture. And some of the military policemen that were working at that night, they were actually at leave. They were at homes for holidays, for weekend vacations. And they were called by their superiors to go back to work and some of these teams were with their cars, with their patrol cars all over. And one of these patrol cars was a Fiat automobile, a very small car that's basically used for military policemen in Brazil for patrolling this and that. It has the guy driving and the other one sitting his side. It was a team, and they were searching in a particular location for evidence of other creatures or whatever. They actually have been fed with information, enough information about what was going on. But anyway, they tried to find whatever was unusual, and all of a sudden, a creature just come out from the bushes on the side of the road, small road, and just across the road, and they almost run over it. That was amazing, because they got scared, like, what is that? Maybe that's what we're looking for. So Marco, the 23 years old guy, he gets out the car, the Fiat car, and he goes into the other bridge on the other side of the road and grabs the creature with his bare hands, because the creature was so weak. And at the same time, it was so, he couldn't offer any resistance because it has almost no breath. He was so delicate, so fragile, that the guy got the creature back, sat in the car, put the creature in his lap, and they all went to a small clinics, public clinics that is in their neighboring area of Virginia. This is where people go before going to hospital, so they try to find treatments for their minor problems. And you're lucky if you find a doctor over there, and they were lucky they found a doctor. But when the doctor saw the military policeman, especially Marco, holding the creature in his hand, when both the military got into the small clinics, the doctor looked at that creature and said, "Hey, come on, we're not equipped to take care of human beings here. What to say about this thing? It's not even human. Take it away from here." So basically the doctor kind of touched and made some examination of the creature, but then asked them to take the creature immediately to a larger facility, like the hospital, which is the Regional Hospital of South Minas Gerais, which is regional of Virginia, which is in the middle of downtown the city. And remember, that was a Saturday night by then, about 9:30. Everybody was on the streets. The first creature that was captured at 10:30 that Saturday, it was taken to the School of Sergeant-in-Arms, which is a military facility about 20 miles east of Virginia. From there, it was taken by helicopter 400 kilometers south, 250 miles south, to the city of Campinas, where there's a large university called the University of Campinas, where there is also a big hospital. And in this hospital, there is a team of very famous forensic doctors that took the creature for a previous preliminary analysis and also an autopsy. Now, the head of that team is Dr. Fortunato Badam Palhares, who, of course, is denying the whole thing. Now, the first creature arrived there, but the middle of that very afternoon, that Saturday, the other one that was captured on the Saturday at night in Virginia, this one was taken to the first hospital, where she was kept for a few hours only, when the military realized that it could not stay there because it was too public. So it was taken to another smaller hospital in a neighboring area of Virginia, a hospital called Humanitas, where it was kept for over 24 hours. It was kept during the whole Sunday, and in the morning of next Monday, it was taken by truck to the same hospital 250 kilometers south in the city of Campinas, São Paulo. Now, to make that a removal from that second hospital to Campinas, it took a war operation with many trucks, and many soldiers were scheduled to go to the hospital, and none of them knew what they were supposed to get there and where they were supposed to transport it to. So when they are all in 3 different trucks and 6 different guys, 2 per truck, were all in front of the hospital, then one truck was taken, one team of driver and the other fellow were chosen by their superior at that moment, and then they were given instructions where to take the creature to. So nobody would never know who's going to do that, and when and how and where to take whatever they were taking. So both creatures were taken by the forensic doctor team of Dr. Fortunato Badan Palhais, who's one of the most renowned legal doctors or forensic doctors in Brazil, who's actually evidently denying the whole thing. And we know that one creature was autopsied. I don't know how deep this autopsy went. But anyway, both creatures then, kept there for a few days, were taken to United States on January 26, just 6 days after the capture. They were removed from Campinas to Brasilia, and in a U.S. cargo military jet, it was taken into South California with a stop in Panama. Now we have the details of this because we have so many witnesses who are reluctant to keep the secrecy about this. They feel that this kind of information should be released, shouldn't be hidden from public. And they came to us in many circumstances and offered they volunteered information about it. We also have information that a U.S. surveillance satellite detected this object falling down. This whole information that we get come from either civilians or military personnel that were in contact with the whole situation. Now, we have reports coming from people who saw the creatures walking close to the streets. Now, we also have reports from witnesses who saw the capture. And we have two military who reported us that they took part in the capture procedures. And one of them also took part in the removal procedures to Campinas. In Campinas, we have other witnesses who saw the whole thing going on. We have people inside both hospitals in Virginia, both the regional and Humanitas, who saw creatures there, who saw the creature, who saw the whole thing going on. And we also have we have a witness from people who inside the hospital in Campinas. Now we are pretty covered with information coming from first-hand witnesses all over. In those first hours of the whole thing happening in Virginia, our military were taken by surprise. Nobody would ever expect ever to be part of an operation that big, of a capture of aliens and rescue of debris of a flying saucer. So it's pretty obvious that they weren't prepared for that. And if they're not prepared, they were not prepared either to cover up the whole thing on an appropriate way. So lots of information leaked all over, and we could collect it very easily. Now later on, the information started being covered. You couldn't get them very easily after 6 or 8 hours after it all happened.